Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Makalasi, and I am here to just articulate some of the spiritual information I've researched over the past years and share it with you guys and take whatever you like. Hopefully, I can help you guys with your journey. I just to let you guys know, I've been kind of building on all my videos. So if you're interested in this topic, I recommend going to my videos, particularly with YouTube, and go to the bigger videos, not the smaller videos, because I'm just building on each previous videos. And I try to make these videos not too long to keep you guys interested. So usually less than 5 to 6 minutes. So it's not too complicated. So each videos I built up on. So my last videos, if you have been following, I talked about the holographic universe and how this universe is basically a ramification of our innerverse. So our innerverse, for just a quick overview, is a combination of vibrations and energies of what makes us who we are. So what makes us who we are is our experiences. So based on our experiences with our family, we are taught truths and lessons that we should be, based on the family line, and then our experiences with life, relationships, and people. And what's happening is we're really, from my understanding, is we're really trying to understand ourselves. So we're really trying to know thyself. So what's happening is we have these emotions and feelings inside of ourselves, and we really need to reflect and understand these emotions and feelings that's within ourselves, our consciousness of who we are. And if we don't understand those feelings and emotions within ourselves, we'll go ahead and manifest them in the physical. So in essence, the innerverse is a reflection of the external verse. And this is where they have the yin and yang. So we're entangled with the external verse from our innerverse. So why that is happening is because our spirit, which is kind of like a combination of vibration, needs to be put into limitations, which is our body, so it can fine tune the vibration of the spirit into a higher vibration. By that, by experiencing ourselves and our vibration and transmuting our spirit through our experiences, we can evolve the vibration higher until we evolve into a higher state of frequency. But as above, as above, so below, as within, as without, what's happening on a smaller scales individually is also happening collectively. So right now, if you pay attention collectively, you realize that there's a lot of shadow work that's been happening, particularly with politics. So shadow work is primarily the part of ourselves that's inside that we don't want to address because it's a shadow, because our consciousness is not paying attention to it. Because our consciousness is not paying attention to it, therefore solving, healing, absorbing, understanding, transmuting. So in spirituality, they have something called alchemy. They call it alchemy. And alchemy is the transmutation or the evolution of the human spirit. So the reason they tried to say evolution from lead to gold is because they're trying to conceive the wisdom. Because if you know, back in the days in history, they had a lot of religious wars. So a lot of stuff, if you pay attention to politics now, are being wiped out. So to preserve the information, they would hide it into wisdom of esoteric knowledge. So that's where the information is coming out now, because we're going through a process of transmuting spiritual information. So that's why when you hear stuff like the Bible, you will have stuff called like the Revelations, because they're going to reveal the shadow to us. So when you understand that we're all going through some shadow work individually and as a community, as a world. So what does that mean? That means we're going to have to face all these things that are within us that we don't want to face. The shadow work means emotions, thoughts, and feelings and consciousness that we are willingly trying to avoid. So you could tell what your shadow is because it's those emotions and feelings that you don't want to avoid. And usually people try to develop some type of addiction to alleviate that pain. So that's why in some religion they say do not take drugs and alcohol, because you're not facing your shadow. So if you've been paying attention to my videos, there's two types of consciousness, because reality, we're having an experiences with our ramification of the external world based on the internal verse of our consciousness. So in my videos, there's the masculine consciousness and the feminine consciousness. The masculine consciousness is connected with the fire element. The female consciousness is connected to the water element. The water element is receptive. The fire element is active. So men are active. So they're about action. They're about war. They're about, fire. Women are more receptive. So they're more about, this is about fire, which is sun. This is water, which is moon, the female. So we have like this yin and yang. So women is about emotion. It's about visualization. It's about creativity. It's about all the feminine aspects of conscious, subconscious. So a lot of times if you deal with spirituality, they usually don't like the female goddesses and emotions. And I'll tell you why. And that's because of the water element, the moon. It's very mysterious. And it's really mysterious because the moon, which are emotions, are parts of our aspects that we don't want to address. So they become the shadow. What happens is when these emotions don't get addressed, we manifest them in the physical world as a person or situation, so we can actually transmute within our spirit. So once we can resolve the turmoil without a person, we can evolve our soul, which is kind of like upgrading our operating system to become a better version of ourselves. So if you're ever experiencing some turmoil internally and you're not facing it, you're going to manifest it externally, and you're going to have this soul connection with someone. So in essence, someone who is like a soulmate, sometimes if it could be a traumatic experiences because that person's making you face this internal verse of yourself of the shadow. So what's happened is sometimes we don't want to deal with that person because it's too trauma, so we kind of just ignore that person. But if that lesson is not learned, the universe will manifest that situation again. So you will notice there's patterns. So it's essential to pay attention to patterns, because life lessons will come again to you. If the emotion's still here, not resolved, a situation or person or type of person will continue coming to your life because that situation needs to be resolved within you. So if you ever notice that there's a certain prototype of a person or situation that keeps coming back and over again, then that is probably an emotion that needs to be resolved. And the reason why this needs to be resolved, because in my belief system, is these emotions, if they're not resolved, they can transcend into the next life. And that's where you have, in Buddhism, they talk about the wheel of suffering or karma, because we will keep coming back until these emotions resolve. The reason why they need to keep coming back is because as in a vibration field, once the body's gone, you're going to be maintained at a vibration, let's just say as a spirit. But if you're contained in a, let's just say, a human vessel, and you're having this emotion, you can't escape it. So that's why people will kind of turn into addictions, because they just don't want to face it. But the reality is, facing those fears, transmuting it, and you will have better life. So here's a quote I thought was really essential for this by Rumi, and it says, "Once you conquer yourself, all your darkness will change to light." Peace.